Yes, everyone introduce yourselves. Hi. So you have a screenwriter slash web series maker slash technically unemployed fellow. We have Brett, an illustrator hanging in Texas and Virginia. Yeah, Val, lighting is good and you are looking radiant. Oh, thank you. I had some grapefruit juice this morning, so I got a lot of vitamin C in my system. Feeling really good, feeling awake, you know? So I'm feeling good. I'm Proxy, a game dev. What's up, Proxy? Nice. Thank you all so much for being here and joining me on my second or third virtual presentation, but my first one with FlameCon. And I've been to FlameCon in person before a couple of years ago, and I'm so excited to be here now, even if it's in a weird situation, but that's okay. Things will get better. Thumbs up, cheers up, positivity. So nice to meet you. So lovely to meet you, Val. Yes, small business. So this is actually the panel for you. So let me begin. If you see me look down, I have notes. So I will be referring to notes. I think I'll put them here. Okay, good. So welcome everybody to the panel, The Art of You Making Your Own Content for Social Media. And oh, by the way, I would like to thank the FC for controlling the slides for me. So you will hear me say next when it's good. So yeah, this is the panel. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks for social media, all kinds of content, photos, videos, reels, TikToks, whatever you like, to improve your presence on social media, to help you get business, to help you get exposure, in my experience. So when you are ready, FC, next slide, please. Thank you. Is there a way to make the slideshow window a bit bigger? I am not sure. The FC may have to check on that. So hopefully we'll figure that out. But I will. Oh, good. Okay, great. So if the slides are too small, you can click the arrows in the corner to expand it. So excellent. All right, so I will introduce myself properly. So hello, my name is Allison. My pronouns are she and her, and I am a content creator. I don't really call myself an influencer. I don't influence things, but I do create a lot of different kinds of content, primarily photography, videography. I do illustrations. I work with a lot of different brands, small businesses and very large businesses alike, in order to create things that they can use on social media to drive in traffic to their brand. And some of the companies I've worked with range from like Four Sigmatic, Target, Bloomingdale's, some local shops here right in New York City. I love working especially with small businesses because social media can be kind of weird, and I like to provide some helpful, wholesome content to help. Bunny ears, yeah, bunny ears and flannels and bucket hat. It's that kind of day. So the reason why I wanted to give this panel is because due to the situation right now, it can be a little hard for people to get a photographer or someone to help take their pictures. So I would like to give some advice and tips on taking your own photos and creating your own content at home if you don't have the funds or feel uncomfortable being near someone right now. I just want to give some tips and tricks to help make it easier. So today we'll be focusing on a lot of self-portraits and different ways to get yourself out there. So it will be fun. And when I'm not on camera, I take care of plants, and then I also have a cat. That's pretty much it. Next slide, please. Thank you. So here are some examples of some of my self-portraits, except the one on the left, which is obviously outside. These next two are just in the comfort of my living room, particularly my hallway, with things that I already have around the house. So I'm here to tell you just how to create a really cool shot that will tell a story, that will get people to you know, check out your work. That's what you want. You know, you're an amazing individual, and it would be great for more eyes to be on you. It's not necessarily that content is bad. It's to present it, or you just have trouble putting yourself out there. So hopefully you can get something away from this presentation. Social media is changing all the time, and there are so many different ways to get exposure. There's that whole algorithm thing, which drives a lot of people crazy. And if you want to pursue this professionally, it's really important to learn the ins and outs, or at least get like a pretty good understanding of how it evolves and changes, and how you can stay true to yourself while also presenting like the best version of yourself. You know what I mean? So yeah, all right. Next slide, please. And then yes, oh, these are some more examples of my work when I had an e-girl phase as well. I did a blonde streak moment. And I like to convey stories in all of my photos. So you will see that theme in a lot of like different setups. I also specialize in photo manipulation, flat lays, all kinds of fun stuff, just to add a little element of like, whoa, you know, like, wow. That's what I like to do. So examples of my work, hopefully you like them. And if you ever recreate anything, please tag me and let me know. So I would love to see that. All right, so next slide, please. All right, that is my manager. She is constantly nearby me on my keyboard. So she keeps me on schedule, which we'll talk about schedules in a bit. So this panel is for you if you want to grow on social media, if you want to learn about it and you want to use it to expand your business. This is also a great way to finding a niche or multiple niches. I know a lot of content creators and influencers will say stick to one niche, but I'm like low key against that. I'm not like against it, but people are multi-dimensional beings. So people have multi-passions, you know. I may be a photographer, but I also like lifestyle and plants. So there's so many different ways to target that. The most important thing is just, you know, being true to yourself, just curating like really nice shots and video content to present yourself in a lovely way. This panel is also for you if you are camera shy, and I will tell you guys a secret. Are you ready? Don't tell anyone, but I am camera shy. It's true, I am. And that's hard to admit, but yeah, I am camera shy. However, I've developed a lot of tactics, if that's the right word to call it, and tips and tricks to help me overcome that and to not be so shy in the camera so I can deliver the message I want. So this is going to be great for you. Hopefully the tips that have helped me will help you. And then also, this panel is for you, dear human. If you are looking into getting sponsorships, this can be anything from receiving items of interest to actually paid sponsorships, which are amazing. And you have to learn how to choose wisely because you want to work with companies that have the same values as you, and you want to stay true to yourself and to your audience. I will be repeating that throughout the presentation, but it is so true. It's one thing to, you know, present yourself in a nice way, but don't completely change who you are. Just, you know, be yourself, and that's how you will do this consistently long term. So that's my take on that. And also, lastly, this panel is for you if you for fun. Maybe you just want to take pictures for yourself for fun and you don't want to make anything of it. You just want to have like a nice feed. This panel is exactly for you because I will be giving you tips and tricks, angles. I'll be showing you some of the gear that I use. Everything is very affordable, from I would say mid to high price to free and using what you have. I firmly believe in just using what you have instead of going out and spending a ton of money to do that. You know, just use what you have. The most important thing is you. So this content, if you just want to make fun stuff and you want to take pictures of other people, this is for you. Next slide, please. All right, so now we are going to, oh, before I go, your content is so fun and creative. Thank you, Brett. Thank you. Yay, a fellow cat lover. Yes, I am Robert. Thank you very much. Her name is Paloma. She's adorable and she's sometimes annoying, but that's okay. And Kitty, yes, Kai, Kitty. So, oh, I wanted to say you are a great and clear communicator. Thank you. Thank you, Leah. Leah, tell me if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm going to say Leah. So hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Thank you so much. I'm going to do my best here to keep it efficient and have time to answer any questions. So, oh, Paloma. Paloma is the kitty's name. Paloma. Thank you, Robert. All right, so let's talk about the gear. So the first one is lighting. As you can see in my super echoey, I do like a lot of natural light. However, on dull days like today, it's currently a hurricane outside. No, I'm not exaggerating. Henry is here. So we will talk about just some lighting that I personally like to use. Lighting can be bulky and expensive and hot, so I like to keep it very simple. The first one is going to be a ring light. Now these guys come in a lot of different sizes. So you can get the one that is like around that size, which I actually have here right now. I don't want to move it because I'm using it to bounce against a white wall to kind of even out the face here because it is so dark outside. So, but these lights are great for simple portraits, IG Reels, TikToks, everything. They're usually super portable, super light, and I've seen ones as cheap as like $10. So these are great. They look especially beautiful, in my opinion, for superhero cosplays. I love to get that like really awesome ring light shot for like the heroes. It makes them look very like, I'm a hero. I'm not good at but you know what I mean, right? You know what I mean. So a ring light. Now to the right of the ring light is most likely, or at least I've been loving this a lot lately, it would be my favorite tool, which is this multi-color changer. And I have it right here. So it is an LED light. It is very small. It's USB charged. Now, this one in particular is a Bowling P1 vlogger. The model is BLP1. Now, what it does, it can dim to super low, super bright, and as you can see in the slides, it will also have a ton of different colors. I don't know if I charged this. Oh, yep, see? So immediately you can create a completely different vibe with lighting alone. So it's super useful to have. And you can bounce it against white walls to make something different. And of course, you can dim it or you can change the color. So it's something, whoa, that, not that either, but just something more to your liking, you know? So this is also just a fantastic way to level up your photography. The name of this one, let me turn it off before I blind myself. Where is she? Okay, there we go. So it is called a Bowling model BLP1 vlogger, P1 Bowling. I will probably put a link on my Instagram story. I'll put a link in the chat if I can find it by the end of the panel. So I will find it. But yes, that is P1 Bowling. So that's my topic on lighting. If you're looking to make a purchase, next slide, please. My favorite, besides that, would have to be the natural light, the natural sun. It works with almost any situation. And if you have access to excellent lighting in your location, why not use it? In fact, I would say maybe 85% of my shots are natural lighting. And I get questions a lot about that. So I just look for a good window in my apartment or now in the studio to make sure that everything is good. However, if you want to be a bit more specific about sunlight and using that, there are two things that you should know. There are two, I wouldn't even say it's two, or 4 points in the day that you can maximize and get some really, really beautiful shots. So the first time is golden hour. Now, golden hour, it occurs twice in a day. So sunrise and sunset is going to be that time as the sun just finishes rising or setting and everything is super yellow and warm. It creates such beautiful, warm lighting that is very flattering on pretty much everybody. I've never seen anyone look unflattering in golden hour lighting. And it's very popular. It's used to create a lot of romantic tones or just like a warm vibe. It's very beautiful. Another time to take good photos is blue hour, which is not as known, but it's actually one of my personal favorite times to shoot. Now, blue hour, again, it's at sunrise and sunset. Now that is going to be the hour before golden hour. So everything's going to be kind of cool and particularly blue as the sun starts blooming or starts going away. So it creates almost like a different world, like a different reality in certain conditions. So those are my two favorite times to shoot, particularly blue hour. And I will show you examples of those shots in the next slide, please. It's going well, it's going well. Thank you. So to the left is golden hour. These shots were, I look so serious, but these shots were shot on the same day within 2 hours. So of course, blue hour is going to be first. This was this sunrise? Yes, this was sunrise. So blue hours is shot first. As you can see, it's a bit more somber, a bit more mellow. I would think it's giving me kind of like Final Fantasy vibes, which I wasn't going for, but thank you. I'm for it. It makes me very happy. And then the next shot is golden hour. Now, as you can see, the sun was up and the clouds were clearing. It just finished snowing, so it created a really beautiful even light, and I was able to capture it. By the way, these were shot on iPhone. So I'm just here to show you that you don't need insane gear to really get started on creating some cool pieces. Hopefully that is a good example of a difference between blue hour and golden hour. And for people wondering where this location is in New York City, this is the beach. Go to the beach in winter. You will get some sick shots. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Okay, excellent. Next slide, please. All right, so speaking of gear, let's talk about the camera. So if you do have a DSLR or you have a point and shoot, there's a couple options here. So first, let me show you my DSLR. I'm just gonna reach over and grab it. So this is one that I have. I use this to shoot clients, and I also use it to shoot my own work. I also use this for YouTube stuff. So I do have a Rode mic on here that it just attaches to the top like that. I also have I hate the name of this, but it's a dead cat. It's this fluffy thing, and it just captures audio really well. And of course, if you are handling a DSLR, you want to have a good understanding of aperture, ISO, the focal length, because that will change everything in regards to the photo and the message you are trying to convey. If you are shooting your own portraits, which is what we are here for, folks, I highly recommend to find a camera. If you're looking to DSLRs, find a camera that has a flip screen. It will make things much easier, so you will be able to see yourself. And of course, something that can hook up to your phone. So you'll be able to adjust and take pictures and use it as a remote, so you don't have to press the button and then to the shot and get it. So I highly recommend that if you are in the DSLR range. Of course, also a good tripod. And that's really the takeaway there for DSLRs. And oh, let me read the chat. Blue hour is one of my favorite lighting times. Me too, Stephanie. I love it. It looks magical. And yes, it's spelled bowling according to Google. Yes, Jules. Yes. And Jules, I bought a used Canon 60D in 2016. Hey, the bodies take a lot. Definitely get like a used camera if you want to. They're fantastic. And focus on lenses. So I have here some of my favorite lenses for portraits. So on which one is this one? This is a Canon T7i right now, the body, which is actually quite old. My other camera's at home, but I do like using this one a lot. And the lens on here right now is an 18 to 35 millimeter lens. So as you can see, it's quite big, and it goes down to 1.8. So it is a fast lens, meaning that it will shoot excellent in low lighting conditions. And you can also get that really nice portrait, blurry background shot that a lot of people like. If you are interested in that, an 18 to 35 works really well. You can also, like pulling stuff from an imaginary area, you can also get something smaller, like a 50 millimeter lens. This is an excellent portrait lens. It's very light. A lot of photographers like to call this one the nifty 50. And rightfully so. It's super handy for faraway shots, close-up shots, all kinds. For lenses, be sure to get something that can work well in multiple situations. Save yourself space, time, and money. So you don't need a lot of lenses. Lenses are super expensive. So just, choose wisely, something that you can use a lot in a lot of different situations. So 50 millimeter. And of course, an 85 millimeter, which is also at home right now. I love this one. It takes like really beautiful close-up shots. It just looks great for beautiful faces. So I highly recommend. Also, for my vloggers in here, you can also shoot on a point and shoot camera or even mirrorless cameras. I don't have an example of that one here right now, but this one also has a flip screen. Hello, you can, oh, look at that. So this one is great for vlogging as well as doing TikToks, IG Reels, and portraits. I've done portraits on this little guy before. So very, very useful. Just, stick with what you have. Next slide, please. This is fun. Alternatively, if you do not have a camera, I'm here to tell you that is okay, because your phone camera is probably going to do also an excellent job. So depending on what kind of phone you can have multiple cameras, you can have one, but what's more important than the gear is really the story that you're telling. However, I do have some tips for phone photography. If you're trying to make something a bit more dramatic and effective, try to shoot from low angles. It just makes it look a little more cinematic in terms of photography and videography. Another thing is, what you can do is, if you take your phone and if you actually shoot upside down, try shooting upside down and seeing that it just adds a little extra touch. I believe it's just a slightly different angle that just makes it a bit more professional looking. But you can experiment with this, see if you like it. And it just gives like a really even playing field of the body. So also focus on exposure and focus. Make sure that the eyes are in focus. Make sure that the background isn't blown out. That's kind of the big thing with phone cameras, that all of a sudden, like a background can just be completely blown out with a little bit of sun, and then the subject will be blurry and dark and you can't see them. So just be sure to adjust that based on your phone setting. Lighting is going to be important, of course, as we discussed before. And don't forget a tripod. So especially if you're shooting yourself, there are so many different tripods you can use. So this is a pretty popular gorilla pod. So what you can do is curl the ends like this and you can hook it to objects in trees. I like to sometimes put this on the edge of my car while it's in park. Do not do this while it's in drive. And you can like take shots that way. This is a great travel thing too. The only thing is it gets kind of like, yep, but that's fine. There are also tripods this size as well, if you don't want to deal with these little leggies. And that tripod will hold DSLRs, but if you are shooting with a phone camera, then I highly recommend you get one of these. So this is going to hook onto any tripod that you have. No need to go out and buy an iPhone specific tripod. Just get one of these guys and it will, see the screws at the bottom? You see them? This will latch onto any tripod that you currently have and make it into a phone tripod. Why did I say it like that? You know what I mean, right? Thank you. So that's on that. Very handy. I'm all about carrying as well. So instead of getting a whole second tripod, just get one of these. All right. What else can I say about gear before I move on? One last thing I can say about gear is pay attention to your background. If you are trying to do a really particular shot, look into getting some paper backdrops. And you can also use sheets, like bed sheets. A popular one is also newspapers. I think that one's very cute. It's not particularly my style, but that one's very cute. But I do highly recommend paper backdrops, sheets, anything to create like a nice, smooth background. Today, this is just like my little studio kitchenette area. We're not fancy today. We're here to talk and share knowledge. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the panel so far. Next slide, please. Got my notes here. All right. So now let's stuff. The content. Content is key. You can have all the supplies in the world. You can have like a really heavy camera. You can have beautiful lighting. But if you don't know how to shoot your shot, or take the shot rather, then it's just like, you know, why? I've seen some incredibly well done shots taken on like an iPhone 5 or an iPhone 6. And it's just like, wow, because content is king. So let's talk about some key elements that hopefully you can use to take away and form your own identity and how you want to present yourself. So the storytelling, I like to do shots that you will be able to look at it and understand the story behind it, or like what's going on. And that will intrigue people. The longer someone looks at your photo, the better. So if you're, let's say you're scrolling on Instagram and you're on YouTube, what's the first thing that you see on YouTube? The thumbnail. The thumbnail will tell a story, and that will make you want to click on it. That's how the YouTubers will get you to watch their video. Even if it's not great, the thumbnail may be fire. So you're like, let me click on that. I'm just curious. And then you may subscribe to them. So that first presentation is key. Those first 2 seconds, 2, maybe 3 seconds are really important. If you can bump that up to several seconds, more eyes, longer eyes, that can lead to a like, that can lead to a follow, that can lead to more people, people sharing your work, and eventually businesses. So that's very important. As you can see on this left photo here, the story and the theme is botany. I was in very much a Hogwarts phase, and I was like, I want to take pictures as different kind of professors. So this is the herbology professor. Not bad, not bad. So I think that's just pretty funny, and I just use stuff that they have in the house. So that ties as well in with the theme. Now, your theme consistent throughout your entire feed of content, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, or you can change up your theme. I personally change up my theme from brighter stuff to more moody, darker tones, as you can see on the right. So just defining a theme for yourself is important if you want to keep a cohesive feed and story. That's important. I think it looks especially professional too, especially if you have a shop and you want everything to look very neat and tidy. That will entice companies to want to work with you. So yeah, themes are great. You can even do seasonal themes like what I tend to do. Rule of thirds, this is another thing that you can actually toy with a lot. Rule is just a guideline that what it does, it splits your photo or video. So the most attractive thing are going to be on certain points so that it will just be the most pleasing to look at to the eye. However, rules are obviously made to not have to follow the rule of thirds rule, but it's just a good guideline if you're just getting started and you're not sure how to create a composition shot. So the rule of thirds for the left shot, it goes right across my hand, if I recall. Yeah, at my hand. And then on the right shot with the city stuff, it goes right across my eyes. And I wanted that to kind of be the focus. It's a fun shot. Anyway, so the colors also convey a story. You'll want to keep the colors to be matching with what you're trying to do. So you don't want pastels if you're trying to create like a harder image, you know what I mean? Just make sure you're keeping color in mind. Nothing insanely saturated unless that's what you're going for. Just pay attention to what colors you want and skin tones and things like that. Pay attention to detail. If there's something in your shot that's not supposed to be there, be sure to take it out. People will notice. I've been through that before, so just be sure to clear the area. I double checked this area before I started filming, but who knows? Could something still be there? We don't know. And then props. So using stuff that you already have around the house, around your studio, that's super useful. The right shot is actually activated charcoal, and I just have that lying around. So I said, oh, I want to create a really moody, somber photo with like soot all over my face. So I just dunked my hand in it, and then I just did one of those, and I tried to look really spooky. So I love spooky season. Please let me know if you also like it. But yes, content, very important, and hopefully those tips will help you. Next slide, please. I love this. Yay, all right. There's my manager again. So some quick tech tips. Yes, oh yes, spooky season is fun. I agree, Stephanie, spooky season. So let me go over some tech tips. So optimal sizes for social media so that your image is sharp and well done. So for YouTube, it's pretty standard. I believe it's like 1920 by 1800. Most video formats are like that, 24 frames a second. Instagram, now you can do landscapes, which are cool if that's what you're going for. However, I like to do portrait sizes on Instagram. And this is important. The best portrait size on Instagram would be 4:5 ratio. So that vertical is going to be longer than the horizontal. So it's not a square, it's that portrait. Now, there have been a lot of studies about this, that portrait shots tend to do a lot better on Instagram than landscape. And the reason behind that is that it takes up more of your screen. So people will be more drawn to that. So if you're doing self-portraits or you're doing flat lays of your work, try to shoot in portrait if you can, just so you can have more room for people to look at your work. And yes, upload consistently. Now this is hard. This is something I'm just getting back into after a break from social media because I was moving. So you want to create an upload schedule that will be suited to you and your audience and like your prime times, which is different for everybody. So what you will want to do is, if you have a business profile on Instagram, or you can check your analytics on YouTube, see when your peak hours are and then consistently post during those times, because that's when your audience is like up and popping and they're on and you want to be on too. So be sure to try to adhere to that or plan ahead, which leads me right into making a schedule because it's very important so you do not get overwhelmed. I know it can seem like a lot. Some people will upload like 5 times a day. That's up to you, but making a schedule will be key and very important just to have an idea of what you're doing and where certain things are going. If you're doing like a product launch, just so you know when it is. When you're working with sponsors, you can tell them when that post is going up. It makes you look very legit, very professional, very good. So I highly recommend. Also doing a calendar, plan ahead. What I like to do is that I'll take a calendar or I have a bullet journal and then I will start to write down my shoots and then plan under like a month, like a full month of shoots. So I know exactly what I'm doing. That way the feed will also look good. So it's not like, you know, like something bright, something dark, something bright, something dark. You can gradually change colors and themes as you want, and it just looks really, really good. Also with sponsors, sometimes they will want posts maybe like 2 weeks in advance before you even post something. So it's just important to have a schedule and to be on top of that. Now use one photo shoot for multiple posts. A really nifty idea because now we are like flooded with so much content, right? And you may worry that you can't keep up. So what you're going to do is, let's say you do a photo shoot, one photo shoot, and you get like 5 pictures out of that or 6 pictures out of that. You can do 3 for one Instagram post, 3 for another Instagram post down the line. Now, what you can also do with that same shoot is, if you can, film bits and pieces, film the process. If you want to talk in it, if you don't want to talk in it, that's okay too. But just film the process and the behind the scenes of it all. And that creates a whole nother kind of content, which people like that whole BTS behind the scene kind of thing that is doing really well in social media right now. So IG Reels, excellent for that. What you can do is post like a photo shoot behind the scenes on IG Reel and TikTok and leave that right into the final shoot, and people will go and click it, and more than likely they will like it and then, you know, ask you, how do you do this? How do you do this? And really increase your engagement and interaction with your audience. Another thing is, as you post, do you try to stick around for like, I would say maybe like the first hour or so in order to talk to your audience. I love talking to my audience so much, so I will stick around as soon as I post something, and we're just having fun. We're just going off in the comments, or someone will be like, "Allie, what's up?" I'm like, "Hey, hi, how you doing?" So it's just fun to build that kind of relationship because we're all people, and it's really special, especially as you get bigger, that I think it's really special to stay connected to the people that brought you to where you are. So I love that. And also, don't stress out and have fun. I know social media can be super overwhelming. It can be for me too. That's why it's important to take breaks. The schedule will help for sure. And to, you know, have like a really good balance between all of that. So hopefully that helps. Any questions so far while I take a sip of water? I feel like, and there's also like a hair on my cheek. And I don't know why it decides to do that now while I'm doing it. Oh, I think I got it. I think I got it. The hair. Yes, I got it. Any questions? That's really good. So let's see. I was told that after posting on TikTok, you shouldn't stick around and instead close the app for a while, because then TikTok will try to get you to open it again. by showing it to people so you get notifications. Do you know if that's true? I've heard of that once. I've heard of that once. Now, in regards to TikTok, I do believe it is a much different algorithm than YouTube and especially Instagram. I love you talking to a lot of people. I would say TikTok, it's okay if you don't stick around and then just come back in a bit. So I do somewhat agree with this one. Instagram, however, wants you to be like on it. So that's where those two are very different. TikTok is very fascinating algorithm. So yes, I hopefully that answers your question. So I would say it's okay. Again, experiment. If your content gets a lot of comments within those first few minutes of TikTok, I don't see why not to answer. Otherwise, you can close it, check on it again in 20 minutes and see what it's like. So hopefully that helps. Next slide, please. Thank you. It's like a remote that's a person. So, oh yeah, so let's go over some editing tips. So editing, important. It creates a mood, it creates a vibe. I particularly use Lightroom and Photoshop, which are professional tools. If you have, it really customizes what you do and that you're able to create a very specific vibe for your work. You can also use mobile editing apps though. There is one called Visco or VSCO, as I heard one person say it. I just say Visco. That's also an excellent mobile editing app. If you're shooting mobile, it's good to just get like a good understanding of color grading. You will want to understand hues and values in tones and bringing out the best in a photo. So let's say if you have like a red base like I do, I tend to be very red. Learning how to work with that. So all the photos are super flattering on skin tones. You want everyone to be just very nicely shot and it looks good and companies dig it. And of course, editing image style. As you saw on some of my past examples, I like to add just a little touches of photo manipulation, such as like a little glitter or something floating, flames, sparks. That's what I like to do in particular. That's just my vibe. I'm a very magical human, so I'm into that. But it's all about finding what you like. Some people like lens flares. Some people like editing flowers into their shots, making it very like, I don't know, that e-girl aesthetic as well, where they have like the butterflies on the face. So is that e-girl? I don't know, I'm sorry. Sorry, e-people. So yeah, so just defining your style, getting editing down. There's so many tips and tricks to that. You can also buy presets if you use Lightroom. Like the Lightroom mobile app, you can buy presets from your favorite people to get like the vibe that you want, and you can use it as a good starting base and do some minor adjustments. I will be releasing my own presets soon. If you like the colors in my photos on my social media, so don't worry about that right now. Worry about yourself and making sure that you have like a beautiful color scheme and just creating something that fits your vibe. It's all about defining who you are as an individual and putting yourself out there. And that's also a thing to do with camera shyness. And it helps when you start taking your own shots and learning your angles and how to pose yourself, because then when things are better and you're working with other people, you will kind of know what to do. So I love that about self-portraits. So hopefully you will too. Let's see. Oh, Brett asks, as an artist, do you have any ideas to help boost or amp up the traditional, here is a new piece of art pose? Yes, I do. So let's say, do you mean like illustrations or photography art? Well, I'll just say art in general because there's so many different forms of art. So what I like, illustration. Okay, so what I like to do is for my illustrations, I will do like a little story behind it, the thoughts I was having while doing it. anything I almost said prolific. I don't I don't think that deep when I'm drawing sometimes, but there's like a funny story behind it, or where I was when I thoughts I had before or after. And of course, it's super important in your captions to ask something engaging to your audience that will add conversation in your comments. So let's say I drew a sunflower and I said, I went out to Norfolk, Long Island this weekend, saw the sunflower patch, and felt really inspired to do this. Can you tell me what your favorite flower is? That's like the most basic of examples, but you see what I mean? It starts a conversation in the comments. And I find that that really helps with engagement on all platforms. And also the, oh, what was I gonna say? The hashtags. Hashtags are also very important. Instagram has a limit on hashtags. I believe it's 30. So just finding out what works best for you. My advice on hashtags is to don't use super big ones, use little ones. And don't use super little either. Maybe something in like the 40 to 50,000 range. I think that's a good start for most people because you'll be more easily found. I think that's it. Next slide, please. I'm checking the time. I'm gonna do. So, oh yes. So yeah, this pretty much ends it. Just have fun with the content that you make. It should be exciting and not a chore. If it starts feeling like a chore, you need to take a step back, take a break. It's very important. And overwhelm you. It should just be something that you enjoy, that helps your business or your confidence. Either one are just as important. And if you do well and you see a future in it, you can create something really amazing. You know, I'm super grateful to do the work that I do. I have fun every time, and I love working with different clients and being challenged all the time and just creating so many different shoots. And of course, I love talking to people and sharing my experience as a I think it's a great way to connect to other people, to build a community, to find friends. You know, I've met people through YouTube and Instagram, and it's been like amazing, and I love it. And it also gets you into it opens a lot of doors and a lot of opportunities that you might have not had before. So that's one of my biggest takeaways. Just have fun, be consistent, don't get dejected if things quite aren't going your way. You're lovely as you are, and you just need to practice. It's all about practice, okay? So hopefully that helps. If anyone have any questions, I believe we have 2 minutes left. So if you have any questions, let me know. This has been a really fun experience for me. Oh, thank you, Brett. I learned a lot from your example. Tried to be as precise as I could and to share some of my knowledge. How do you suggest finding these smaller hashtags? This is a great question, Jules. So let's say you start on, I'll use Instagram as an example, start searching the hashtag golden hour. Let's use that. Hashtag golden hour. Underneath that, there will be suggestions like golden hour photography, golden hour shoot, golden hour setting. Start going through those and clicking on those. Those are you typically going to be a lot smaller. For my hashtags, I like gloom and grow, glooming glow, hashtag glooming glow, hashtag photo manipulation. That's a big one, but I'm okay with that one for now. Hashtag artist collective, hashtag community first. If you go on my Instagram, you will see a lot of examples of every picture I have will have hashtags listed underneath it. So be sure to check those out if you want to see the hashtags I use for my particular multiple niches. So, oh, my only question, can you bring the slide back with your content? Next slide, please. I think that's the last slide, actually. Yeah. Yep, there it is. So thank you for attending my panel. So you can find me here at Allison Olivia Moon on Instagram and YouTube, which I will be uploading my first studio vlog very soon. This is a new location for me, and I want to show everyone the behind the scenes of how I got it and how I do shoots in here. So you'll be seeing me especially, and lifestyle and whatever else people are interested in knowing about me. There's not much, just a plant lady with cats and the camera. So that's what I am. But I'm glad you enjoyed it so much. Thank you so much for thank you. Thank you everyone so much. We have like 10 seconds left. I'm so glad people managed to get advice. So thank you for being here, and I will see you on the internet. Bye. Thank you. Bye. And close. I bet I'm still on. Thank you so much, everyone.